Hi everyone, welcome to your 30 days of Hypopressives. I'm Alice, today's day 1. I'm so excited to get properly started with you all today. So the next 5 days we're going to be focusing on more pelvic floor, connection with the breath, and lots of amazing poses for your pelvic floor and pelvic floor symptoms. And then we're going to be moving on to doing some core work back onto pelvic floor and alternate throughout the 30 days. So today we're going to be looking at connecting the breath with the pelvic floor and just starting to feel what Hypopressives feels like with the pelvic floor. If you're a beginner, have a little look down in the description because you'll need to know the breath work before you get started with any of these. So we're going to start off in sitting position. So you can sit on a block if you want. That will be easier just in case you tend to roll back in this position in sitting. So sit yourself up on something, and then what we're going to do is just keep the legs nice and relaxed for this one, and we're just going to hold on gently to the knees. What you want to do is make sure you are completely upright, chin is back, and lots of space to breathe at the front. So bring the shoulders back a little bit there so you feel nice and open through the front of the chest. Okay, we're going to start off with just a couple of slow breaths here. So breathing in, exhale, and again inhale, and exhale, just warming up. And then pop your hands around your ribs here. Inhale, exhale and lengthen. Inhale, and exhale. One more breath here. Slow exhale. Hold your breath, pause. Slowly stretch your ribs here, and you want to keep nice and lengthened as you do the rib stretch. And just remember, when you do those breaths in and out, you want to keep the shoulders sort of gently weighted down, not forced down, but you do want to make sure the breath is coming more into the rib cage. So when you're ready, nice steady breath all the way through the rib cage. Exhale and lengthen. Inhale. And exhale. One more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Keep nice and tall. Just to say, I won't be doing the rib stretches because it's too much to do all the talking and everything. So when you come into the rib stretch, you'll find you get a hollowing of the belly. Nice and tall. And then inhale when you're ready. So we're going to bring the hands into first position. Again, open up through the shoulders there. Make sure you're not rolling down into the pelvis. Nice big breath in. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. And then one more breath. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Stay nice and tall. Check your chin stays back. Feel a really lovely stretch through the rib cage there. And then we're going to inhale. Exhale, float the arms into second position, hands gently pressing away. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Lovely. Again, stay nice and tall. Just use the natural weight of your arms just to measure how much tension kind of is in the arm position there. And then inhale. Exhale. Shoulders down. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Nice and tall, shoulders down. Lovely. Inhale when you're ready. We're going to come onto the floor. into the easy floor pose. So we're going to tuck the toes up, have the knees and feet hip distance apart. You want the back of the head on the floor there, looking up towards the ceiling. Hands in first position there, fingertips roughly about a hand length apart. Nice big breath in. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs here. Feel that you're nice and lengthened through the pose. Hold that for as long as is comfortable and then inhale. Exhale, hands towards the ceiling there, shoulders heavy on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. One more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. And you do want to make sure with this position that the back of the rib cage is on the floor there, that you're not sort of in this tipped up position. So bring the ribs down if you need to there. And then inhale. Exhale, float the arms further back, just to where it feels comfortable. Again, keep the ribs on the floor. Inhale. And exhale. One more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Keep lovely and long through the pose. Super. And then inhale when you're ready. Bring the hands back down onto your rib cage there, just for 2 breaths for each of these. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. It's really lovely having that proprioception with the hands around the ribs as well. Feel that length through the vacuum there. And then inhale when you're ready. Exhale. And then one more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. And again, keep nice and long through this pose. Feel the ribs opening towards your hands there. Hold that for as long as is comfortable. And then we're just going to roll over nice and slowly. And then we're going to come up into quadruped position. So for this one, you can have your fingertips towards each other, or you can have your fingertips facing forwards, whatever you prefer. And we're going to do 2 breaths in this first position here. Check your back position that you're not dropping down, or that you're not tucking either. And the knees and the feet are hip distance apart. Face directly facing the floor without dropping the head. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing all the way through the rib cage. And exhale. One more breath here. And as you inhale, you should feel almost space between the sitting bones at the back. Slowly exhale. Hold your breath, pause. Slowly stretch your ribs. And as you stretch your ribs, make sure you keep nice and long through the top of the head. Lovely. And then when you're ready, we're going to do 2 breaths for this one. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. And again, nice and long through the pose there. Feel that length through the vacuum. When you're ready, we're going to inhale. On the exhale, elbows down, pressing the hands and forearms into the floor, looking towards your knees. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Make sure you're nice and supported through your shoulder girdle, that you haven't sort of dropped down or collapsed down. Lovely. When you're ready, 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And just one more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. And again, feel that length all the way through the spine there. Make sure your face isn't facing the floor. Make sure you are looking towards your knees there so you can lengthen nicely. And then inhale. Exhale, fingertips together, elbows out, head just lightly resting down there. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then one more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs, and again, lengthen through the spine. Make sure you haven't put any pressure through your head there. Head should just be lightly resting down. Lovely. So hold that for as long as feels comfortable, and then inhale. On the exhale, we're going to swing the legs to the side, slowly come up, and we're just going to come back into sitting position here. So keep nice and relaxed this time through the legs. Hands around the rib cage. Keep the shoulders nicely weighted down. Inhale all the way through the rib cage. Exhale. Breathing into the sides and into your back. And exhale. And then one more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Keep nice and long. Make sure you're not coming forwards or sort of coming back. So you can have a little look in a mirror, or you can even sit against the wall. That's a really lovely way to do this pose. When you're ready, 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Nice and tall. Feel that length, that gentle expansion through the ribs there. And where your thumbs are, you should feel that there's expansion through the ribs there. You're not sort of expanding upwards, you're expanding sideways there. Really working towards that sideways movement. Inhale when you're ready. Exhale, come into first position. We're just going to nudge the knees up a little bit here and dorsiflex at the ankles. Inhale. Exhale. Nice and open through the front of the chest. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Lovely. Hold that for as long as it's comfortable, and then inhale. Exhale. Hands floating into second position. Shoulders nicely weighted down. Inhale. And exhale. One more here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Nice and tall. Lovely. And then inhale when you're ready. Exhale. Shoulders down, eyes ahead. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Exhale. Hold your breath. Stretch your ribs. Lovely. And then inhale when you're ready. Bring your arms down, relax your legs. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is a really lovely opportunity just to connect with the breath and the pelvic floor in just a few positions before we start building in some more poses. Let me know how you got in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.